It's time to talk about some of the very well-known wireless attacks and their mitigation. Attacks on specialized and dedicated for the wireless networks and the way of their mitigation. One of these attacks is the eavesdropping. It is something like sniffing and knowing or capturing some of the traffic on the wireless network without being authenticated or without being um, permitted to do so. This type of attack is very well known because some of the coverage area of the wireless networks may lie outside of the building, outside of the premises, so you can sit in your car beside the building or the premises of this organization using the wireless network and can capture some of their traffic. This is called eavesdropping. Its mitigation is simple. Just use strong encryption in the lowest layer protocol possible. You should use encryption to keep your confidentiality. Whatever the attacker can read, he cannot interpret or understand the nature or the information or the plain text of your data. He is just capturing ciphertext and cannot interpret it into plain text. Design your wireless network with caution and take care what is your coverage area. Minimize your coverage area. Design the wireless network so that it is not covering more area than controlled. It is not covering areas that are not under your sight, that are not the areas that you are not aware of. You are not covering with your wireless network areas that are designed for guests. Audit your network with a packet sniffer. Audit your wireless network with a packet sniffer and determine what can an attacker see. What is the type of the traffic that the attacker can see? Try to be the first to see this traffic before the attacker himself, because when you audit your network you will be able to see the vulnerabilities, the drawbacks, the backdoors that the attacker can sneak through into your network. So you can be the first one to close these backdoors and mitigate these vulnerabilities. Masquerading and its mitigation. Masquerading happens when an attacker spoofs his identity as a legitimate node or access point. He tricks unsuspecting users to giving up sensitive information. It is something like you are putting a mask on your face and pretending to be someone else, someone trusted for the victim, so that he gives up some sensitive information to your side. You can trick a node or an access point so that it thinks that you are an authenticated user, but in fact you are a malicious user and you need to know some of the traffic that is passing through this network and that is traversing through this network, and you are trying to access it without permission. Sometimes the mitigation is the use of mutual authentication wireless protocols like PEEP or TTLS or any other protocols that are more recent than PEEP or TTLS that uses mutual authentication, that authenticates both the sender and the receiver sides to be sure that the sender is the rightful sender, the right sender is sending the data and the rightful receiver is receiving the data, and no one else has been intruding or capturing the data in between. You can use SSL TLS for passing sensitive information to web applications, so you can be sure that sensitive information for web applications are also safe and are also being protected by such protection techniques. The DOS. The DOS is the denial of service. The DOS is making your wireless network appear that it is not there, rendering your wireless network as it is closed or as it is not working in the right way. So there are many ways that you can cause DOS attack on your wireless network. You can jam the signals of the wireless network, you can stop the access points from working, you can do many things to render the network to be stopped or to be appearing as a denial of service. What can you do as a mitigation for this DOS attack? You can upgrade the firmware of faulty Wi-Fi cards. Just keep your firmware of your access points, of your Wi-Fi cards, of any wireless device, keep it upgraded and up to date, because every patch appears, or every patch is developed by the vendor of this wireless card, targets the security as the first target and targets the security at the first place, and every patch is more secure than the preceding one. The patch of today is more secure than the patch of yesterday. So patching and upgrading the firmware is a very, very good, helpful method for keeping the security up to date. You should also understand the impact of a DOS attack against your environment. What if a DOS attack is successful? What would it prevent? What would it hide? What would it prevent from access? What would it make it impossible to access? And what is affordable for me and what is not affordable for me if this happens as security specialist? So I should know and understand the impact of a DOS attack, and I should not be 100% sure that DOS attack is impossible. No, it is possible, and you should consider and imagine, if it happens, what would be its impact on my network. Think of using wireless intrusion detection system. Remember that the intrusion detection system is an alarm system producing alerts, so you need to produce maybe a sniffer to sniff the wireless traffic and set some criteria on it. If you find a packet with so and so address and so port number, just show me an alert through a line on the screen or a beep, or send me an email or send me an SMS. This would be a good defensive technique for your wireless network. Prepare a response strategy. Just be prepared if there is an attack. Imagine that this attack or that attack has happened. What would you do? And do this beforehand the attack takes place, because the worst time you think at is the time you are under attack. You should think while you are relaxed. You should take your decisions and prepare your plans while you are relaxed, not while you are under attack. While you are under attack, your mind is not clear and your thinking is not the right thinking at all. Rogue access point is a very well-known attack for the wireless network. It is unauthorized access point connected to a private network, often installed with default settings and without security at all, without password, without encryption, even without upgraded firmware, without anything at all. So it permits full access to a network for an unauthorized user. So you can perform rogue access point detection. It's very simple. Just carry your wireless card and move through the place and try to detect and see what is the wireless signals it is catching and it is receiving. You can find rogue access points inside some rooms and corridors that were not meant to be there and that were not planned to be there and that you did not put there by your hand. So these are rogue access points and need to be removed by yourself. Use mutual authentication wireless protocols such as PIP or TLS to avoid rogue access points. Deploy wireless intrusion detections as well, and deploy a strong wireless LAN. This would look strange, but if your wireless LAN is strong, no one will think of implementing rogue access point in any place. They will depend on your strong wireless LAN. They are covered everywhere. They are covered in all the places they are supposed to be covered in. Then no one will think of deploying rogue access point, and you will save yourself some effort. Thank you.